and welcome to our second half of our startup pitch competition of Augmented World 2021. We've heard the first cohort that's presented to our judges. Now we bring you to our second cohort, which we undoubtedly know that you will gain something from what they have been building for some time. A few house rules. Each presenter is presented with 5 minutes to pitch. To our judges, are imbued with 3 minutes to ask any questions that they might have. Let's chop wood. Our next speaker, coming to us from Aug Lab, is Ippolito Caradonna. Join me in welcoming him.
Thank you. Thank you. My name is Ippolito Caradonna. I'm a molecular biologist in the biotech industry and thrilled to talk about our pre-seed, pre-prototype company, Aug Lab. Aug Lab is an AR software interface for laboratory production, and we're augmenting the future of laboratory innovation. Now, in our current pandemic, it's never been more important to accelerate research and development of scientific breakthroughs. Thousands of biotech startups have submitted brilliant ideas, like our historic group of COVID-19 vaccines, and other solutions that have great potential to improve and save human lives. Now, the FDA and other regulatory organizations serve as gatekeepers, demanding the highest level of scientific rigor, documentation, and traceability of their applicants. The application process is justifiably arduous, to say the least, and many of these brilliant ideas never make it to their intended impacted populations. Why is that? Lack of reproducibility and dependable data management leads to delayed timelines, bottlenecks in personnel training, and ultimately untrustworthy science that is unsafe for human application. Science is hard, and in rapid development R&D labs, you need something that can eliminate all of that tension, the pressures. And so, we've come a long way since the 18th century laboratory notebook. In the digital age, we have things like laboratory information management systems, or LIMS, electronic laboratory notebooks, ELNs. They all do well to help with standardization and documentation, but they're not enough. They still require a great deal of time and user input and memory to retrace every single aspect of an experimental process. Humans are imperfect, and in rapid development R&D labs, you need something that can eliminate those imperfections. Aug Lab uses an optical see-through AR head-mounted display that spatially projects a shared interactive environment, helping scientists navigate any given laboratory space by bringing the laboratory to life. It's also a fully automated, reinforced, AI-governed laboratory manager that not only records, highlights, and enhances every decision you make in the lab, but learns and improves upon previous experience, making it smarter with each use. Let's look through the eyes of a scientist and check out some key features. Reagents, labware, equipment, all important experimental information conveniently displayed in your field of view. Activate this and every other feature using hands-free bidirectional voice commands. And when your AI-governed laboratory manager is not enough, use real-time video conferencing to consult laboratory experts. Our enterprise SaaS business model will compete and eventually dominate the LIMS market, which is currently a $1.5 billion market and growing. One of our key competitive advantages is our rich, extensive network full of scientists, CSOs, directors that all affirm the scope and the size of this problem and see Aug Lab as the revolutionary solution. Our go-to-market strategy is unique. We'll start concordantly in the early discovery stage of a company's journey to FDA approval. 10 to 50 person sized startups that are smart enough to know that thorough documentation starts years before an FDA panel even looks at their application. Now, there's a lot of enterprise AR companies, mainly focused on manufacturing and field training. The healthcare field is using AR in the operating rooms and to train nurses and physicians. But augmented reality in an R&D laboratory, that's a vastly undiscovered vertical. Moreover, the key players making strides are mainly focused on production-level solutions, industrial solutions, and not small, upscale R&D, small biotech startups. So what sets us apart? Our focus, our target, and our network. Oglab is a product made for scientists by scientists, inspired by real lab processing pain points that we've struggled through ourselves with decades of experience behind the bench. How many brilliant ideas never see the light of day because of poor documentation and data management? Oglab is the key to the next FDA-approved scientific breakthrough. Again, my name is Ippolito. We'd love to talk more about our product, meet new partners, but more importantly, we're in our pre-seed funding round. It's an exciting time. If you are interested in joining the journey, please connect and let's talk about why augmenting the future of laboratory innovation has never been more important. Thank you.
Two quick questions to start. I just want to make sure, caught this at the beginning, pre-prototype still?
Yes, sir.
Okay. And how many biotech startups are there? How large is this market?
So there's 20,000 startups that so this is based on LinkedIn. If you search biotechnology, you'll see about 20,000 just in the United States alone. So that's the short of your answer. What was it? You had another one?
I was just confirming the pre-prototype status.
Oh, right. Sorry. Great.
Sure. So yeah, definitely a big believer. We're actually one of the investors in Apprentice, and so we know how transformative AR technologies can be for life science. I think one of the challenges that we saw when we were first looking at this is, again, that kind of uptick of the first customers. And I think the best way to get validation, market validation, when you're like this early, is to just go with like a paid pilot with one of those customers. And so trying to figure out like, are they really going to value your solution? Don't build something and then be like, oh, here's an opportunity, or go for like a free pilot. But instead, force them to pay for the pilot so that you know that your product is validated in the market. And so I would almost probably suggest too, like not starting with like the small, but going for like the medium stage companies that would have more budget to do those kinds of things.
Oh, okay.
So more just advice, but
thank you.
But thank you for the presentation. It's very interesting.
Yeah, I appreciate it. Thanks.
Could you expand a bit more on your product roadmap and how you think about partnership to fuel growth?
What was the last part? Sorry.
How you think about using partnerships to fuel growth of the organization and of the technology?
Definitely. Like I was mentioning in the go-to-market, we had the idea to start small. Now there's sandboxes. I don't know if you're familiar with that phrase, but there are sort of like hubs and innovation centers that startups will go to live and build out their product in a rented lab space. Those are the hubs that we want to be able to start building in as well. Build that community in those hubs so that we have as an extensive amount of data collected, hours of footage actually that we can collect from the different community members in those sandboxes. As we grow, we'll train solution engineers to help internalize the tech and evangelize to mid-scale and then larger. And then finally, our global expansion and addressing the different needs of the research world. Along that map, I definitely see partners helping us to sort of steer us towards the HMD, right? And the best use case scenario there. And we're hoping to meet partners here or in the future.
Thank you so much.
Appreciate it.
Ippolito Caradonna. With us next is Cyril Tuschi from Syncreality with the great big box. Give him a round of applause, please.
Oh, yes. boxes and caps. What could that be? Okay, let's go. Hello, everybody. Cyril Tuschi from Berlin. I'm a storyteller, and I need a clicker. And I'm here and happy to be here because Meta and Qualcomm and all those companies, what they're doing is helping us. And I tell you what I did before. I'm 20 years making films, and I fell in love with location-based entertainment, and the dream I had is coming true with Syncreality. We wanted to do content which is automatically adapting to the world around you, to your flat. And the problem at home, VR is limited, dangerous, and very hard to scale, and especially dangerous.
The tree.
But Meta introduced something, a new platform, which is great, present platform, where you can by hand recreate a digital double of your flat, and then map your games or educational apps. But we can do this automatically with Syncreality, which is a game developer tool for Unity. It's kind of like a plugin, and that's our first demo. Our background is, like I said, gamers and storytellers, and what the plugin is doing is enabling every developer that the content automatically adapts to your home and turns your home into an adventure land. What is the developer doing? He's working like always. Yeah, we try to develop the software, the content software, creating software with the same UI UX like in Unity. The second iteration, Unreal, and that you start to develop your game or your meditation app. Then you simulate your assets because they will change. If you have virtual assets mapping over your real world, they will change. They have to look the same. That's why you have to simulate them. When you're finished with your creation, you also have to simulate it through thousands of flats. The consumer just enjoys the bigger play space, LBE at home, and can just go ahead. Competition, we don't see competition because it all helps us. I mean, Unity, Meta, Lightship, they are building the groundwork for what we are building. That's really hard, important to differentiate. We're building the design tool for those who want to really keep their creativity if they do auto-adaptive playfield content. Also the big difference to what the competitors are doing, we automatically substitute volumes. We don't place virtual assets just on planes, and that's a really big thing. First that's also our aim where we're here, paid pilots, then contract work, co-publishing, parametric assets, and when the market is more ready, virtual product placement and ads. We already work with a couple of companies. Just met the guys from Qualcomm and Deutsche Telekom outside for a distributed rendering test. We got an MOU from Viacom regarding SpongeBob, and that's also why we're here. We want to do paid pilots to prove this new technology. We have a demo, a core prototype, competition research, and we just last Friday finished have our financing, first pre-seed round finalized, so we are really happy to triple our team for the whole next year and build wonders for the future and the community we want to build. That's about it, and waiting for questions. Just a little riddle. The person who guesses what this is gets $10,000 prize.
That was going to be my first question. What is in the box?
No, the person who guesses gets a $10,000. Okay, questions?
Thinking outside the box.
Always.
I guess, I've known you before, we've talked before. I think the one thing I feel like that's missing, before you promote a platform, you really have to have a successful application of the platform, right? And so it sounds like, you're doing some partnerships, you're doing some demos, but how far along are you in terms of finding that, if Niantic didn't have Pokemon Go, I don't think people would be signing up for Lightship.
You told me that before. But that's a chicken and egg problem, but it's so new. That's why we want to do paid pilots, to prove the wonder. Yeah. And own content and assets, we're going to do the second phase. We want to serve the creative community.
Can you put your partnership slide back up?
Say it again?
The slide that you had that had Disney and Viacom. Can you put that slide back up?
Should I go back?
Please.
Yeah, Viacom. The point is, I'm a film director, and we were also Disney and Cameron regarding, every IP which is big over many years is good for stuff like this, where a big IP populates your flat. And so we would like to do stuff like that. And Crytek is also one of our investors. And what is good? What kind of apps or content wins best through Syncreality? Gaming, escape room games, of course, shooter from your living room to your kitchen, education, e-commerce. That's why we're talking to telco companies now. Imagine you have or streaming companies where your menu, your 3D menu, is mapping over your living room, precisely. Not like that a leg or something is in your table, but precisely substituting volumes. And even Unity Mars cannot do that. Yeah.
Any more questions, judges? We have time for one last one.
You go first.
I have a dry mouth.
What is the relationship do you expect to have with Unity and Unreal? Is this going to be a plugin you noted for that?
Plugin, yeah. Unity plugin, then we want to apply for a mega grant. And in the second iteration, because we see and we know also Unity is running into B2C, we want to do a WebXR-based tool where normal people can execute this and create beauty for their homes. But it's Unity, Unreal, and then WebXR-based.
Thank you.
Thank you very much. Let's give a round of applause to Sara.
So wait, stop. What is it? 3D printer. It's a cap table. Come on, I invite you. So we don't need money now, but next spring we have another round. So if someone wants to join the cap table, you can have a cap, of course.
Another round of applause for the cap table. We have a few more left. For 2021, the Augmented World Expo pitch competition. Our next speaker is Dr. Sara Smith, who comes to us from MARVL.
Bună ziua! Mă cheamă Suriasna, eu sunt profesoară și eu sunt inventatorul Marvin. Ce faci? Ce faci? Ah, bine! How do you feel right now? Do you feel anxious? I feel so anxious when someone speaks to me in a language I don't understand. Now imagine if tomorrow you had a test on what I just said to you then. How would you do? Imagine if, as a child, all your classes had been taught to you in a language you didn't speak yet. That's the reality for the 1 in 4 US children who learn English as a new language when they start school. English learners are our fastest growing student population, and providing effective, equitable education for our English learners is one of the biggest challenges for the US public education today. Our English learners face serious achievement inequities and can be 2 years behind by the time they reach middle school. Our schools spend over $750 million per year specifically on English learners, and yet many still struggle to meet their benchmarks. We know, decades of research, we know, the best way for a child to learn a new English word is with a definition in their first language, and children need to continue to receive instruction in their first language in addition to English for the best academic achievement outcomes. This is not an if question. This is a how question. The US has a bilingual teacher shortage, and the children in our increasingly diverse classrooms speak over 350 different languages. The solution is MARVL. MARVL is an augmented reality learning tool that provides bilingual instruction and curriculum support for our English learners. It's easy to use. Students download our app, download our vocab cards, and begin learning from an augmented reality tutor who coexists with them in their real classroom environment. We spent the last year doing customer discovery. We took part in the local and national NSF I-Core program. We spoke with over 130 prospective customers, and we were able to confirm this is a pressing problem, and the market is ready for an effective solution. Our SOM includes 5 states we'll be focusing on in the next 2 to 3 years, but in the long run, we see a global language learning market, and we see applications beyond the K-12 space. School districts and individual schools would pay us a subscription fee to use our app. We'll be focusing our sales and marketing on 5 states, California, Texas, Nevada, New Mexico, and Florida, our home state, while of course not excluding deals with other states. We've been testing MARVL since 2019. We found that learners show gains, trackable gains, after the first day of use with cascading benefits to their parents. We've presented our research findings at academic conferences and been accepted for publication in academic journals. We'll continue to be in closed beta with 3 school districts for the next few months. Then we plan on targeting our SOM states and expanding as quickly as we can. From a competitive landscape, MARVL is the only solution that has everything a language learner needs. Multiple first languages supported, easy to use, compatible and complementary with existing school curricula and the tech that's already in our schools, but most importantly, immersive, interactive, and individualized instruction, like getting one-on-one tutoring from a skilled teacher, but that teacher is an AR being. Our team includes me. I have a doctorate in second language acquisition. I've been researching in this field for over a decade. My co-founder, Marewa, who's been in the tech world for 8 years. Dr. Carlo, an educational psychologist, and Dr. Park, a learning design and technology expert. We're building a great team of advisory board members that includes Danielle, a serial entrepreneur and financial advisor, and Adriana, founder of the first human-centered AI plus X lab, the Ink Lab. We've been able to raise over $80K in grants, including a grant from the National Science Foundation, and we're still in contention for more non-dilutive funds, and we're anticipating a pre-seed round soon. We've also been accepted to the IBM AI Mentorship Program. Most importantly, when we're looking at the future, we're building for that global language learning market. We're anticipating applications outside of the K-12 space, and we're building for AI and machine learning capabilities. When we set out to create MARVL, we weren't just looking to be on trend. We were looking to really solve a pressing challenge, which is supporting a group of learners in need. We considered all the latest research from learning sciences, and we asked ourselves, okay, could a technology-enhanced solution be effective? MARVL goes beyond a peripheral application of AR. We're not just adding excitement and novelty. We're optimizing those unique features that AR offers to create immersive, transformational, technology-enhanced, AI and machine learning enabled shared and social experiences so that we can provide transformative education that was not previously possible. We're looking to leverage technology to have increased educational access and increased equity. Thank you.
Judges, do we have any questions?
Very impressive team, a lot of PhDs up there.
Oh, thank you.
I wasn't able to absorb, I think, enough of the team information to appreciate how much experience is there on the team selling into the US educational market?
So primarily, Dr. Carlo has successfully developed a couple of bilingual curriculum that are now used in the entire state of Texas. So she brings that background. She's one of the creators of Developing Talkers, which is a Head Start through second curriculum. So she brings that experience, specifically moving in that space. But we also spent the last year doing the NSF I-Core program and really trying to learn about that educational ecosystem because it is very complex. So really spending time learning about that and trying to understand how do we build those relationships and how do we move into that space.
Thank you.
I was wondering if you could talk a little bit more about the differentiation that AR makes for your product. I mean, Duolingo is definitely the 100-pound gorilla in the ecosystem for language learning. So
Yeah.
how do you compete against them?
Absolutely. So AR is really uniquely situated for what a language learner in those early stages needs, especially when we're talking kindergarten through second. So a child that age really needs to have shared experiential learning, right? We need this to be anchored in the real world. We need this to be anchored in the physical books. We need them to be able to have a shared experience that a teacher or another classmate or even a parent can join in, even if that parent maybe doesn't speak English. And so by having that AR experience, we're creating the feeling of interacting with a real other being, right? Children don't have that abstraction. They're not going to interact purely with that screen. So we're creating those episodic memories, right? The memories you have in your autobiographical memory when you actually experience something, and we're creating that social learning element as well. So that's part of what AR really brings to the table for us.
You mentioned a nice model for working with school districts in order to reach the different schools. How do you envision navigating the difficulty of securing those budgets with schools, given they've got like different time frames and also kind of generally try to go with status quo with previous budgets?
Yeah, absolutely. So we're in particular focusing on Title III funds. So those are the funds that are specifically designated and can only be used on English language learners. So a sizable district usually has about $1 million of designated Title III funds per year. And so the year in advance, they'll write in exactly what they're going to spend that money on. And so that's really what we're focusing on. We're focusing on that year in advance and getting that ESOL coordinator, that district head to say, this is what we're doing with our Title III funds, and starting there because that funding is completely earmarked only for English language learners, and a lot of it actually goes to software and other type of curricula to help support the school. So that's sort of where we're going with that. But you're absolutely right that it is a sort of year in advance relationship. And through our customer discovery, we've been able to build that network of relationships and continue to build that.
Dr. Sara Smith, a round of applause, please. We have 3 speakers, presenters left of our 2021 cohort to present. Our next presenter is Chitra Ananda from Octagon ARMS. Please, welcome.
Is this working now? Hi. Thank you for having me. I'm Chitra, CEO of Octagon ARMS, and I'm here to show you what we're building. As a creator myself, usually the situation I would encounter is this. I would create digital art or contents using different platforms or software. From there, I'd do promotion on social medias. I would mint them on other platforms. I would sell them on marketplaces. The list goes on, but there is barely any reassurance as to fast monetization, connection, or exposures. But working in an augmented reality company, I do realize how powerful our technology is as a marketing tool and how many industries that have benefited from what we do. It occurred to me how many more industries and individuals that will benefit from ARMS. Augmented Reality Multiplayer System is a core platform, a core system designed as a tool to engage and accommodate multiple activities. What we've done with ARMS, our early implementation of AR, VR, and MR solutions, hosting peer-to-peer as well as cloud-based enterprises. And so the potential is very massive, and at this point, it has become a lot more than just a perspective of a struggling artist. This is the brain map of Octagon ARMS as a hub. Within it, we run by 4 core systems that go hand in hand. The first one is the artist tools, the virtual gallery, the community forum, and the metaverse. So within that, we've achieved several elements. The first one is the virtual gallery, which on the left side here is Disrupt Space Art, which is a mobile app that we created for a London-based black art agency, which highlights the implementation of virtual gallery platform as well as auto-generations of 3D objects from images. And on the right side is an AR multiplayer game that we designed using our in-house assets. And the other one under the artist tools segment itself, we've achieved the artist tools, which are auto-generators that enable creators to generate ARable NFT arts and avatars. And we're talking about the avatars, not the metaverse kind of avatars, more like the other ones. And we've also actually used this tool to create the Octanium, which is our first NFT project that we will launch next month. So in our future developments, we have virtual remote assistants. People from various backgrounds can make their AR content accessible for others within that platform. And then we also want to grow our metaverse, which we call the Octaverse, which in that realm itself involves virtual marketplace, multiplayer NFT games, geolocation NFT games, and such, and into also growing and building more AR multiplayer games using our high-quality assets. So This platform aims for affordability, also approachability, and fast connection and monetization and purchases and collaboration as well. And we feel like this is obviously the time to be growing that sort of AR trend. And you don't really have to be an AR experts to be able to use this platform and find your communities in there. So with the global market of mobile augmented reality forecasted to reach over $200 billion in 6 years' time, I think Octagon ARMS has a great potential in the market, providing the most realistic, less intimidating AR, VR, and MR solutions for businesses and individuals. So Octagon ARMS platform itself has not been published to public users yet. However, our in-house AR apps have over 10,000 app downloads globally, and also about 1 million products sold globally. These are the list of, I'd say, I wouldn't really say competitors, but these are other companies that provide relatively similar solution to ours. But what's great about ARMS is that it highlights a wider range of users. Our subscription-based platform and artist tools involved auto generators of AR contents as well as NFT arts, and we plan to incorporate all of that into growing our metaverse. This is our team. We are currently 12 people strong. I have Aun, our COO, with me here today. We have Puncak, our CTO, attending the event virtually from Indonesia, and we are currently still expanding our team. Thank you very much for having me today. It's been a real pleasure. We will be in booth 726 if you want to connect with us after this. But meanwhile, you can scan and have a sneak peek of what we have on the spot as in terms of a AR multiplayer game that we have on our booth. Questions?
Hi. Yeah, thank you for the presentation. Although, honestly, I feel like I still quite don't understand because there's just so much that you're trying to do. Mm-hmm. And so I think, yeah, more just feedback than a question is like focus. I feel like, I don't know, it was just like, we're doing this, we're doing that, we're doing this other thing, we're doing this, like, if you were to boil down, like, what is the core of what you guys do, how would you explain that succinctly?
Well, to simplify that at the moment, I guess the core platform itself is going to be a web-based as well as an app-based, so both are interconnecting, but the platform itself is providing tools for creators everywhere to create ARable contents that they can share, then that everybody else can purchase from that platform, and building the community from itself. And I guess it's kind of touching of a lot of different field because everything is interconnected. And when we talk about community, obviously at the end of the day, we're not even controlling that. The community is building themselves in there. But what we have done with it are implementations of what creators can do and what enables people like me in my own personal time to be earning, to be connecting with other people, to be joining this AR trend that is like no one and nothing else before, I guess.
You'd mentioned that part of the business model is to sell the tool as a SaaS offering.
Yeah.
Do you have any numbers that you can share regarding adoption there?
Well, at the moment, we don't have the traction because it's not really published yet for public users, but we are coming from an established augmented reality company whereby we have active users of our in-house apps. And so the contents that we've already put out there to the world, it sort of like the foundation of how we're building out communities from there. And I guess, Octagon Studio itself, we've specialized in educational contents for children, mostly as a learning tools that, very visually pleasing and very easy to use by other people. And we're hoping to touch a little bit of like an older target market for that. But we have, for example, the Disrupt Space Art is one of a different community that we worked with before. It's a very artistic community, so it's more those that we're targeting.
When you're doing these pilots and surveys, do you have any metrics around retention and return? How often are people using the platform? Is there any drop-off that you're able to share with us?
At the moment, we go by monthly users around 1,000 to 2,000 active users monthly for our in-house AR apps.
Thank you, Chitra. Let's give her a round of applause.
Thank you.
We're down to our final two speakers of Augmented World Expo's 2021 pitch competition. Let's chop wood. Our next presenter is Amit Chachek with We Are Augmented Reality. Let's give him a round of applause.
Hi, thank you so much for coming in. My name is Amit Chachek, and I am the CEO and co-founder to We Are. We Are is an augmented reality platform helping retailers, shoppers, and brands in two domains: shopper experience and store management solution. I'd like to start with a simple question. How many of you are actually buying online? Please raise your hands. So we're all aware that the e-commerce are on the rise, right? And actually, retailers are looking for more ways for more personalized shopping experience online. But 70% of consumers are still buying in store, while 50% of them are making their final decision on the shelf. And we see that as a great opportunity looking forward as an augmented reality platform. We provide a unified solution, shopper experience and store management solution. The shopper experience opens up endless opportunities to AR for brands and shoppers across the consumer journey. The store mapper, store management solution, helping their online and in-store operation to be much more efficient. And we'll go deeper into that. Let me show how it works. So looking with a mobile device, looking on the shelf, we can recognize hundreds and thousands of products in seconds. Just looking on the shelf, we can map the store really, really fast and flag for missing and misplaced product really easily. And this is just the beginning of what we're doing. So once you're actually mapping the store and getting all this information, you're enabling an entire AR platform around the stores for brands and retailers for more personalized shopping experience at the point of decision, I would call it. We've revenued about $1 million since 2019. Key partners in our journey was Verizon, Walmart, and FairPrice. For example, in Walmart, powered by the We Are engine, every kid can now go into every Walmart store and explore on hundreds of products, amazing experiences, recipes, games, and clips from the Waffles and Moody show. In FairPrice, we're showing that we can help the online solution with a more precise mapping for their stores. So their online operation getting much more efficient if they have much better omni-channel solution in that matter, or metaverse of the store, if you want to call it. So we choose to solve this problem using computer vision and machine learning on device. To really recognize hundreds of products without being really, rely on the cloud connection and things like that. And of course, it's simple and intuitive for onboarding for new employees. We see that as a great traction. Of course, unmatched shopping experience that drives really high conversion rates. And we see that already today, and we all know about that from the news. Looking on $8 billion market for the shopper experience and 7.1 for the management solution, we see that as a great opportunity to scale. Our business model is pretty unique in that matter because for the shopper experience, we mainly counting per views, and for the store management, mainly per stores. That's what drives us to do 125 by 26. And I think that's kind of like where the market is, starting from the more enterprise solution going into consumers, and hopefully we can help with that. Our go-to-market strategy, based on the unified retail solution, creating the Farewell effect, bringing in brands and retails into the same point, under the We Are umbrella, gonna amplify our footprint in the ecosystem. yeah, let's do a more personalized shopping experience. And come see the demo in booth 61 if you like, please. And I'm ready for any question you might have, guys. Thank you.
Hi, thanks for the presentation. So you talked about some of the customers that you've worked with in the past. Are those actually, any of them converted from pilots into, or proof of concepts into actually full deployments yet?
Great question. So in Walmart, every kid can now explore since July till January with the Waffles and Muji, hosted by Michelle Obama. So like it's a really big thing that's already happening. But it's followed by 3 pilots since 2018. So I met personally the CEO of Walmart. I showed him a demo back in 2019, April, and that's what started this journey.
The revenue that you cite, the $1 million you've gotten so far, was it primarily for that project?
4 or 5, something like that. So we have a couple of deployments since then. And I would say first pilot was paid really good. Second was great. And deployment was amazing. So I think, for us is bootstrapping mainly, but we did been backed up by Ethereum, an accelerator in Singapore that we see great traction with. Fair Price, they're a big retailer that want to engaging with us in different ways, from the store management to the AR experiences. And yep, so mainly bootstrap, sorry.
That's fine. Have you encountered Dent Reality in your...
Sorry?
Dent Reality?
Dent Reality. Yes, I know them. Actually, from the very first beginning when he got out, I was like, yo, dude, what's up? And we talked about it. He's doing, Wi-Fi and beacons and other stuff that relate to AR. We're doing computer vision and machine learning about the product. So we're really building planograms for the stores in 3D. So we get a really precise metaverse of the store, in terms of and it could really update really fast. So it's a crowd-based solution. Everybody that engage with the platform and actually mapping the store in the background by product.
Thank you.
Of course.
2 questions.
Yeah.
Could you share with us a little bit more about what the user experience is like if they're pushing a shopping cart and their hands are occupied, but they also need to get their mobile device out? I'll let you answer that one first.
Yeah. So right now with Walmart, we mainly concentrate about kids. So the parent will hand out the phone, he will scan a QR code, and then he can ignite the entire store. So no need for more QR codes. 1 QR code to ignite everything. And it's not really downloading an app, so it's all based on more app clip, instance app kind of solution where we download everything to the device on the spot, and no need to go through the app store to get some specific permission and things like that.
Okay. And which markets do you think are going to be most receptive?
In terms of markets, I think right now we do see both growing. I think, the management solution is one thing that you're talking about, and then I don't want the management, I want only the experiences. So I think, getting this online solution to the physical store is, open up so much opportunities. We don't provide a specific experience. We provide a way to map your store. It's a SLAM solution for the retail store in a very dynamic environment. That's our patent, that's what we're looking at. Indoor navigation in general.
Thank you, Amit. A round of applause, please.
Thank you.
We've arrived to our final speaker of our cohort of Augmented World Expo 2021. Our presenter is Olatan Ajalari of Thrill Digital and Astra. Let's give her a round of applause, please.
Hi, everyone. My name is Olai Ajalari. I am a former model and architectural engineer, currently leading brand partnerships at Astra. I am excited to speak with you all today on Astra and our role as the fashion engine of the metaverse and why you should be a part of it. So, in Astra, you can play to win luxury fashion in real life. Our goal is to reinvent fashion by giving both luxury brands and gamers an entirely new and visceral user experience via AR and VR capabilities. Also direct-to-avatar fashion and the opportunity to create a more sustainability-focused culture within the fashion industry. It's important to note that fashion is the second most environmentally degrading industry, so as a result, we believe these innovations are vital and will promote longevity within both markets by giving new ways to increase and maintain revenue streams without overproducing. So culture brings people together and accessibility is key. We surveyed the land and space and we didn't see anything for people like me or like you or for the othered. As a woman who loves gaming, I didn't only want to choose fatigues or boots or a rifle when customizing my avatar. I wanted something that was fashion and luxury and something that felt really premium. Likewise, the men on my team didn't want to go into another game with a gun and a backpack. They wanted something fashionable and comfortable, something that felt really personal. So that's how we came to understand our contribution to the metaverse would be via fashion. We wanted to bring together the untapped market in gaming that engages people in non-lethal gameplay with real-life impact. So there are a few ways to enjoy the Astra metaverse. You can earn our in-game tokens by competing in our paintball game tournaments to win the luxury prize of the day. You also can indulge in our digital fashion NFTs and go explore our metaverse through the 3D stores and other landscapes that will be available soon come. So here is our fun demo. This is a basic avatar skin. In the optimized version of the game, you'll be able to select a variety of clothes. There's our token, the Thrill. You can choose anything from shoes and accessories that best represent you. So you'll go through and you'll pick things. You'll see in the top left corner, there is the amount of thrills that you have. So if you don't have enough, you won't be able to purchase things, but it's cool. This is a demo store or shop. It can house other things and places. It doesn't always have to be a store per se. It can also be an experience. So when it comes to fashion, Astra is a place to be seen, a place to be able to distribute, and a place to be able to engage in e-commerce. When it comes to designing and selling NFTs, one-of-a-kind garments, or even buying digital fashion directly from the stores. So Astra generates revenue through land sales to brands and creatives to buy, rent, and enjoy however they please. We earn 3% of every sale of NFT assets, and we receive protocol profits from gameplay as the value of our tokens and property increase. We have an incredibly diverse, multidisciplinary team. We do everything in-house, and we are incredibly passionate about Astra, the metaverse, and everything that we are all building together as a collective. We've had the pleasure of being backed by industry heavy hitters such as Unity, Solana, and also Epic Games. We've been able to accomplish this much with the help of a $40K mega grant, and we've just recently closed $300K in pre-seed funding, so we're excited about that. Our ask today is that you join us as we take our next steps towards reaching our 4 to 5 million goal in seed stage funding and be one of our first landlords. Let's continue to build Astra up into the biggest fashion engine of the metaverse together. Please get in touch with me and my team via any of these avenues that we listed up here for a light paper demo or more details about our NFT land sales, or so much more. Thank you so much.
Sure. Thanks for the presentation. I'm kind of curious. I mean, you kind of mentioned, you want to build this around fashion, and that your team members were not excited about playing with guns in backpacks, but then your core game is a paintball game?
Yes, that is our first one. So we thought that it would be cool to kind of keep things familiar. So instead of bullets, we have paintball. After that, like, we're looking to include other different versions of games to play. And as time goes on, we will change the game for the tournament, but it will always be something that's non-lethal.
So as people come in and engage in the world, they're buying their own lands, they're personalizing their own characters, and they're engaging in the game of the day or the game of the week. It's kind of there for the entire community. Is that the idea?
Yes.
Yeah, okay. As you think about growing a community like this,
Yes.
what is your discovery model? How do you go out and have people discover what you're doing and bring them into the platform?
Yes, so with most of our marketing is done via social media. We also have a community. As of right now, it is mostly people who are just super interested to know about us. Originally, when we started, it was just an idea, and we asked our friends if they wanted to know more about it, if they would subscribe to our email list. We've grown to a community of about 3,000 at this point. And we spend a lot of time on Telegraph, and we release our pre-beta version of the game on there, so we get immediate feedback from our target audience.
How would you describe your target audience as well as your current demographic?
Yeah, so our target audience would be, I would say, women mostly. That was our original start, and we wanted them to have a space that didn't feel like every other space where it's like, okay, well, I'm a woman in a man's space. We didn't want that. So we were focused on inclusivity there. What was the second half of the question?
What does your user base look like right now?
Yeah, so our user base right now, I would say it's about 50-50. We have people who are just into the metaverse and they really like what we do, and they're like, I guess, more OG gamers. And then we have a lot of women and people who are into fashion like myself who are interested in seeing what's out there for them.
Let's have a round of applause for all of you. This concludes our session of our pitch competition. Let's have a healthy round of applause for both of our cohorts that presented today. We hope the best for you wherever you may find yourselves headed in this future. We'd like to thank our judges for your time and your wisdom and your contribution and your vetting. The winner of the next startup to look out for will be declared tonight at our Auggie Awards. And right outside these doors, concluding this session, will be in time to network startups and investors. We hope the very best for you. We look forward to seeing you again in our 2022 pitch competition of Augmented World Expo. Until then, enjoy the rest of the venue.